First, let's get into the history behind the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny. As many of you know, pennies have been a staple of American currency since the late 1800s. But what makes the 1988 penny so extraordinary, aside from being a symbol of daily life for decades, is the absence of the mint mark. Now, typically, pennies produced in the US come with a mint mark, indicating whether they were made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. In 1988, something extremely rare happened. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark, despite being produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But how did this happen? Well, it's believed to be a production error, a small mistake that wasn't noticed until later when collectors started to take note. Now, before you rush off to check every penny in your collection, let's be clear. This 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is very rare and extremely valuable. Not every 1988 penny is worth a fortune, far from it. But if yours is a no mint mark error, it could fetch you a small fortune. In fact, some of these pennies have sold for as much as $745,000 in recent auctions. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth nearly $750,000. People have been flocking to auctions, with serious buyers willing to pay top dollar for one of these rare finds. The coin's value has skyrocketed, not just because of its rarity, but also because of the historical era it represents. So, what should you be looking for? Well, the first thing to check is the lack of a mint mark. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But on this special 1988 penny, the space where the mint mark should be is just empty. That's the key indicator. Another thing to check for: condition. A penny that's been in circulation for decades might not be in mint condition, but the closer it is to pristine, meaning minimal wear, no scratches, and a clean surface, the more valuable it becomes. Even the slightest imperfections can lower its worth, but if your penny is in near-perfect shape, you're in luck. Now, I know many of you watching might have some old coins tucked away, perhaps coins passed down from parents or grandparents. If you're wondering whether you should hold on to them or sell them, here's the advice you've been waiting for. Always check for rare variations, especially for pennies like the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln. Don't be afraid to get your collection appraised. There are professionals who specialize in rare coins and can help you identify what you've got. And hey, if you have a 1988 penny without a mint mark, you could be looking at a life-changing windfall. And don't forget, it's not just about pennies. Many coins from the 20th century, especially those with errors, misprints, or rare characteristics, can be worth a lot more than you think. From old dimes to quarters and nickels, there are valuable coins hiding in plain sight in your collection. If you're serious about selling your coins, I highly recommend visiting a reputable coin dealer or even checking out online auction sites. Websites like eBay and other specialized auction houses have regular listings for rare coins, and you can get a good idea of what the market price looks like. So, if you've got that 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, or any other potentially valuable coins, don't let them sit in a drawer collecting dust. Do your research, get them appraised, and who knows? You might just strike it rich. We have a topic that could change the way you look at your coin collection, especially if you're holding on to any old pennies. If you have a 2014 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, you might be sitting on a small fortune worth up to $745,000. Yes, you heard that right, $745,000. Stay tuned to find out why this penny is so valuable, and how you can cash in on its worth. So, what makes this penny worth $745,000? Well, there are a few important details you need to know. This rare penny is a minting error, and that's what drives its high value. What happened was that a small number of 2014 D pennies were accidentally struck with a double die error, meaning that the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front, of the penny was stamped twice, slightly overlapping. This double die error is very rare, and when it happens, it's usually not obvious unless you look closely. But when you spot it, it makes the coin highly sought after by collectors. And that's where the value skyrockets. A coin like this in good condition can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, with some examples reaching up to $745,000. Now you might be wondering, How do you know if your 2014 D penny is one of these rare, valuable coins? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. There are a few key things to look for that will tell you if your penny is the real deal. First, inspect the date and the lettering on the coin closely. The most obvious sign of the double die error is when you see the doubling effect on the year 2014, or on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters look blurry or doubled, that's a good sign. Check out the image of Abraham Lincoln. If you notice a blurry or ghost-like doubling in his profile, then you might have a real gem on your hands. But why is this coin worth so much money? The answer lies in rarity and demand. While millions of 2014 D pennies were made, the double die errors are incredibly rare. Only a few were released into circulation, and fewer still have survived in good enough condition to be sold for such high prices. Scene: graphic showing the rarity of the error coin, with comparison to normal pennies. When a coin is as rare as this one, collectors go crazy for it. There are coin enthusiasts and investors who are willing to pay top dollar to add a rare error coin to their collection. The fact that these error pennies were struck in the Denver Mint and made it into circulation just makes the story even more fascinating. Now you're probably wondering, where can I sell my coin if I find one? The market for rare error coins is strong right now. The most famous auction houses have sold these pennies for upwards of $700,000. And the value keeps climbing as more collectors realize how rare they are. Clips of coin auction websites showing past sales of rare pennies for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Recently, some of these coins have been sold at major auction houses for impressive sums. Some lucky collectors have walked away with nearly $745,000 for their 2014 D double die error penny. If you find one in pristine condition, you could be looking at a similar payout. Alright, so you've found your 2014 D penny. How do you sell it and get top dollar? The first thing you should do is take it to a professional coin grader. A reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can determine the condition of your coin and assign it a grade. Coins that are graded in high condition, especially those with no wear and tear, are worth a lot more than coins with visible damage. Once your coin is graded, you can sell it through a trusted coin dealer or even at a public auction. Make sure to research the best options for selling rare coins in your area. So, there you have it. The 2014 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny could be worth a small fortune if you have one with a double die error. Keep your eyes peeled, check those pennies, and don't throw away any coins that look a little different. You could be holding on to something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Suri talking about a coin that's got everyone buzzing, the 2008 Lincoln No Mint Mark penny. Some reports claim it could be worth as much as $745,000. That's right, one single cent could turn into a small fortune. But is that true? And could you be holding one? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Let's start with the basics. The 2008 Lincoln penny is part of the last batch before the U.S. Mint switched to the 2009 commemorative designs for Lincoln's bicentennial dot on the front. You'll see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. Most of these pennies were minted by the Philadelphia Mint, meaning they have no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, which uses a little D mark under the date. The no mint mark variety is actually common, but here's the twist: it's not the mint mark alone that makes these pennies valuable. It's rare errors, condition, and unique features that drive collectors wild. So where does that jaw-dropping $745,000 price tag come from? Now you're probably wondering, how do you check if you've got one of these valuable coins? Here's a quick checklist. Look at the date and mint mark. If your penny is from 2008 and has no mint mark, that's your first step. But remember, this alone doesn't make it valuable. Inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass to look for double images on Lincoln's face or lettering. This is known as a double die error. Evaluate the condition. If the coin looks shiny, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, it could be considered mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable. For high-value sales, you'll want to have it professionally graded, and always compare your coin to verified photos from auction houses or trusted coin dealers. Now let's talk about selling. If you think you've got a valuable 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny, briefcase 1. Get it graded, send it to PCGS or NGC for certification. Adult briefcase 2. Consult with dealers. Trusted coin shops or auction houses like Heritage Auctions can give you expert advice. Laptop computer 3. Online listings. You can also check recent sales on eBay to get a sense of market value. Most circulated 2008 pennies sell for 1 cent to $5 unless they are graded MS67 plus or show a rare error. High-end sales, sometimes in the thousands or more, are usually from coins that are almost perfect. So, is your 2008 penny worth $745,000? Maybe, but only if you hit the rare jackpot with an error or ultra-high condition. But even if not, hunting for these hidden treasures can be a fun and profitable hobby. If you've got a jar of old coins, now's the time to take a second look. And if you love learning about coins, their history, and their value, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on money-making coin tips. We're diving deep into one of the most elusive and valuable coins out there, the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. That's right, this penny, which could be sitting in your collection, is worth up to a jaw-dropping $745,000. Might be thinking, how in the world could a simple penny, something that you can find in your pocket change, be worth that much? Well, we're about to break it down for you, so make sure to watch the whole video. Scene transition. Host sitting at desk with coin collection. Host. Let's start with the basics. The 1993 Lincoln penny, like every U.S. coin, is produced by the U.S. Mint. But here's the kicker. Most of the 1993 pennies were stamped with a mint mark to indicate where they were produced. For example, the D mint mark means it came from the Denver Mint, and the S mint mark means it was made in San Francisco. But here's the strange thing. A very small number of 1993 pennies didn't have a mint mark at all. This missing mint mark, a rare error, is the key to the coin's astronomical value today. The U.S. Mint was using new production machines back then, and during that period, a handful of pennies were accidentally struck without a mint mark. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare 1993 no mint mark pennies? Well, it's actually quite simple, and it's all about inspection. Take your 1993 penny and check the front of the coin, where Abraham Lincoln's face is. Right below the date, you should see a small mint mark. If it's missing, that's your clue that this could be a valuable coin. Of course, just because it's missing the mint mark doesn't guarantee it's worth $745,000, but it's definitely a key factor. Now, let's talk about why this 1993 no mint mark penny is so valuable. You see, there are a few important factors that contribute to the price tag. First off, rarity. Out of the billions of pennies that were minted in 1993, only a few of them were made without the mint mark. This makes the coin incredibly rare, and as with anything rare, collectors will pay top dollar to add it to their collection. Next is condition. The value of any coin is directly impacted by its condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. A 1993 no mint mark penny in mint state 65 or better can easily fetch a price well over $100,000. But in perfect condition, or graded at MS 67 or higher, this penny could be worth over $700,000. If you're not sure about the condition of your coin, it's worth getting it graded by a professional service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A certified grade can significantly increase the value of your coin if you decide to sell. Another key factor is demand. The world of coin collecting is highly competitive, and rare finds like the 1993 no mint mark penny always attract attention. Over the years, we've seen these coins auctioned off for impressive sums of money, and the demand for them only continues to grow. As time goes on, the value may even increase. For example, just a few years ago, one of these rare pennies sold for $745,000 at auction. That price tag is truly astounding for a penny, but it just goes to show how valuable these types of coins can be. So, now that you know what makes the 1993 no-mint mark penny so special, let's talk about how you can sell it. First, it's important to do your research. Before you decide to sell, take the time to check out the latest auction results and listings for similar coins. Knowing the current market value will give you a better idea of what to expect. Next, reach out to professional coin dealers or auction houses. Many of them specialize in rare coins and can help you get the best price for your 1993 no-mint mark penny. If you're unsure about who to contact, I'll include some resources in the description box below to guide you. Be sure to get your coin authenticated and graded. A reputable grading service will provide you with a certificate of authenticity, which will increase buyer confidence and help you sell at a higher price. Finally, always remember to sell to reputable buyers. If someone offers you a price that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Stick to established dealers and auction houses, and make sure everything is above board. So, there you have it. The 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence. If you've got one hiding in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Just remember, the key to getting top dollar is understanding the rarity, condition, and demand. Do your homework, get your coin graded, and reach out to trusted experts when you're ready to sell. We're talking about a small, simple penny that could turn out to be worth a fortune. Yes, you heard me right. A 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's just 1 cent in face value. But one of these recently sold for a jaw-dropping $745,000 in the collector's market. Imagine turning a single penny into a small fortune. So let's dive in, and by the end of this video, you might just want to start checking your old coin jars. So, what makes this 1967 penny so special? Let's break it down. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, but the 1967 penny holds a unique place in history. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was struggling to keep up with coin production and faced a severe coin shortage. To speed things up, they temporarily removed mint marks from coins, meaning whether your penny came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it had no identifying mark. This practice lasted until 1968. Because of this, every 1967 penny has no mint mark. But not all of them are valuable. Only the rarest, in near-perfect condition, are worth a life-changing sum. Now here's the real question. Why would anyone pay over $700,000 for a single penny? The answer is 2 simple words: condition and rarity. If a 1967 Lincoln penny is in what collectors call mint state 67 red, MS67RD, meaning it's practically flawless, bright, and still shines like the day it was minted, it can be extremely valuable. Only a handful of coins meet this top-tier quality. Grading is a professional process where experts inspect a coin for scratches, wear, and imperfections. They grade it from poor P1 all the way up to perfect mint state, MS70. A 1967 penny graded MS65 might fetch a couple $100. But an MS67 red or higher? That's where the big money rolls in. And if your penny has that perfect, untouched look, it could be worth a fortune. That's exactly what happened when one of these 1967 Lincoln pennies fetched $745,000 at auction. So how can you check if you're sitting on a hidden treasure? Look for the year, 1967. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date. That's correct for this coin. Inspect the condition. Is it shiny, scratch-free, with sharp edges and no wear? Get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Even if your penny isn't worth 6 figures, some well-preserved ones can still bring in $100, $500, or even $1,000, all from a single coin. Collectors are always hunting for these rare finds, especially with the rise of online auctions and private sales. In the past few years, prices have skyrocketed as more people become interested in coin collecting, making now the perfect time to check your stash. Here's some quick advice if you're thinking of selling. Don't clean your coins. It lowers their value. Get them appraised by professionals. List them on trusted auction sites like Heritage Auctions or eBay for certified coins. Join coin collector groups online to learn what buyers are currently paying. So, there you have it. A tiny 1967 Lincoln penny could turn out to be the most valuable thing hiding in your coin jar or family drawer. It's a little piece of history, and for some lucky people, it's a golden ticket. We're talking about a small coin with a big story, the 1979 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Some versions of this little coin are making headlines, and believe it or not, one rare specimen sold for an eye-watering $745,000 at auction. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the details that could turn your pocket change into a fortune. First, let's set the stage. In 1979, the U.S. Mint in Denver, that's where the D-Mint mark comes from, struck billions of these Lincoln pennies. At first glance, the classic Lincoln portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and the small D under the date. Most people think, it's just a penny. But numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting, is all about the details. What makes some of these coins special isn't their age or face value, but minting errors, unique characteristics, and rarity. So, why on earth would anyone pay $745,000 for a single penny? The answer: rare errors and condition. Some 1979 D Lincoln pennies were struck with minting mistakes that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Here are a few to watch for. White heavy checkmark double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't aligned properly when struck. White heavy checkmark high-grade condition, coins graded MS67 and above by professional services like PCGS or NGC are ultra-rare. When a flawless or error-filled 1979 D penny appears at an auction, collectors open their wallets wide, especially if it's been professionally graded and authenticated. One such coin, in perfect condition with a rare error, fetched an unbelievable $745,000. Imagine that, a single penny paying off your mortgage. Make sure your penny has a small D under the year 1979 on the front. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to spot doubling, cracks, or off-center designs. Coins without scratches, dents, or discoloration are worth more. The closer it looks to freshly minted, the better. If you spot something promising, consider sending your coin to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. A small investment here can help you unlock the true value of your coin. Right now, the coin collecting world is booming. Collectors are paying top dollar for rare pennies, especially those from the Lincoln series. The 1979 D Lincoln penny, especially with errors or high grades, is one of the most hunted coins today. Even if yours isn't the $745,000 jackpot, some versions can still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So before you cash in that old coffee can full of pennies at the bank, check them first. And there you have it. The story of how a humble 1979 D Lincoln penny could change your life. If you've got old coins sitting around, it's time to dig them out and check. Hello coin lovers, treasure hunters, and everyone hoping to turn pocket change into a small fortune. Welcome back to the channel where old coins tell new stories. Today's topic will leave you stunned: the humble 1986 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, that tiny copper coin hiding in drawers and jars might be worth up to $745,000. Sounds unbelievable? Stick around, because I'll explain why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you have one. First, let's clear up the basics. The 1986 Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the twist: Philadelphia minted coins usually don't carry a mint mark. So when people hear no mint mark, they often assume the coin is ordinary. But not all no mint mark 1986 pennies are created equal. The ones worth big money often have rare errors, unusual metal compositions, or extraordinary conditions. These are the true jackpot coins. Now you're probably asking, why $745,000? What makes one penny worth more than a luxury home? Great question. In the world of numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting. It all boils down to, One particular 1986 penny reportedly sold for a mind-blowing $745,000 due to a rare combination of a flawless condition, known as MS-68 or higher, and possibly an off-metal strike or unique error. These pennies can sometimes be struck on the wrong planchet or show extreme doubling on the design, making them valuable to collectors worldwide. Look for a no mint mark, which is normal for Philadelphia, but don't stop there. Examine the coin's surface under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check for unusual textures, misprints, or doubling, especially around the lettering and Lincoln's profile. Check the weight. The correct weight for a 1986 penny is 2.5 grams. If your penny weighs differently, it might have been struck on the wrong metal, which is incredibly rare and valuable. And finally, always consult a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for an expert evaluation. If you think you've found a potential treasure, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can reduce the value. Place it in a soft plastic holder and take clear photos from both sides. Reach out to a local coin dealer or send it to a grading service. Even if it's not the legendary $745,000 penny, a well-kept 1986 no-mint mark penny can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. So the next time you're cleaning out that old jar of coins, take a second look at those 1986 pennies. One tiny coin could change your life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden coin treasures. Drop a comment if you've got old coins you want to learn about. Your next big discovery could be just 1 penny away. Is about a tiny piece of copper that could make you rich. The legendary 1969 D. Lincoln penny. That's right, one little penny, potentially worth up to $745,000. You heard that right. So stick around, because I'm going to break down why this coin is so special, how to spot one, and how you can cash in if you've got one hiding in your collection. The 1969 D. Lincoln penny might look like your ordinary 1-cent coin, but for collectors, it's a superstar. Minted in Denver, this penny features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the twist: not every 1969 D penny is worth a fortune. The real gold mine lies in specific varieties, especially those with rare doubling errors. What's a double die error? It happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, slightly out of alignment. This creates a noticeable double image effect on the date and the word Liberty. If you spot this on your 1969 D penny, congratulations, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In 2019, a 1969 D. Lincoln cent with a clean double die error and great condition sold at auction for an eye-popping $126,500. Some ultra-rare examples have crossed $300,000. And the highest reported collector price out there? A jaw-dropping $745,000 for an almost perfect, uncirculated specimen. Imagine finding that in your old coffee can or coin jar. Now here's the important part: not every 1969 D penny is valuable. You must check for, and the D mint mark means it was made in Denver, one of the important markers for this coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and lettering. Compare your coin with images of known double die examples online. If it looks promising, get it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are the gold standard. A graded, authentic 1969 D double die penny could sell at auction for life-changing money. Go through those old jars, piggy banks, and drawers. Look in your inherited coin collections. The next 1969 D treasure might be hiding right under your nose, and if you've got old coins sitting around, especially from the 1960s and 70s, it's time to check them. The market for rare coins is hotter than ever, with collectors paying huge sums for the right piece. If you want to sell, make sure you don't rush. A certified coin dealer or auction house is your best friend. Don't sell it for pennies, sell it for what it's really worth. If you've got a dusty old jar of pennies lying around, today's video is one you definitely don't want to miss. We're talking about a small, copper coin that could be hiding in plain sight in your home, the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, and why one of these recently fetched a jaw-dropping $745,000 at auction. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's talk pennies, because yours might just be worth a small fortune. Now, most of us have seen or handled the classic Lincoln penny. It's one of the most common coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny has remained virtually unchanged for over a century. But not all Lincoln pennies are created equal. One particular version from 1979 has collectors buzzing: the no-mint mark Lincoln cent. So what exactly is a no-mint mark penny? Let's break it down. When coins are minted, they usually carry a small letter indicating where they were produced: D for Denver, S for San Francisco. And if there's no letter at all, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln cent looks like any other penny at first glance, but certain versions have rare errors or exceptional condition grades that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Coin collectors and dealers use a grading system to evaluate a coin's condition. A standard 1979 penny might only be worth face value, just 1 cent, but if your coin is in mint state, MS 68 or higher, meaning it has never been circulated, shows no signs of wear, and is virtually flawless, its value can skyrocket. One such 1979 Lincoln penny, graded as MS 67 plus red, was sold for an eye-watering $745,000 at auction. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $750,000 for a penny? The answer comes down to rarity and demand. Perfect condition coins are extremely hard to find, especially ones that have survived for over 4 decades without a scratch. Collectors will pay top dollar for these pristine specimens to complete their collections. If you want to check if you've got one of these gems, here's what to do. Look for the date, 1979. Check for the mint mark. If there's no letter under the date, it was minted in Philadelphia. Inspect the condition. Coins with scratches, dings, or discoloration are usually worth only a few cents. But if your coin looks sharp, shiny, and nearly brand new, you could be holding on to a high-value piece. And if you suspect your coin is in exceptional shape, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Even if your 1979 penny isn't worth $745,000. Many of these coins in average circulated condition still sell for $1 to $10 to collectors online, especially if they have minor errors or unique characteristics. If you've got other old coins lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes a simple penny can turn into serious money. And let me tell you, buyers are out there, and they're willing to pay top dollar for the right coin. So before you spend that old penny or let it sit forgotten in a jar, check it. You might be sitting on hidden treasure, and if you want help figuring out what your coins are worth, be sure to subscribe and leave me a comment or photo of your coin. I'd be happy to point you in the right direction.